Alright, so this is going to be an entry for Semperfi's Apocalypse / Walking Dead video. I want to I generally stay away from those type of things just because I don't know. I don't tend to win, so I don't really ever go for contests too often, but I love Walking Dead, and you know, Semperfi's a cool guy, so I wanted to go ahead and see if I can't maybe possibly win something. That would be pretty cool. Anyway, so moving on. So what would I do in case of an apocalypse, or particularly a zombie apocalypse? So you know, my game plans. Well, for one, I know the first thing I do is I own a, you know, fairly decent sized green van. I definitely would one of the things I definitely would want to do is pretty similar to a lot of things that they did. One of the things they did in the what was that? Can't remember what it was called. One of the zombie apocalypse movies, they basically decked out a van or a truck or something like that. I would probably try and find some way to do that. See if there's a way that I can reinforce the sides, the windows, and make it to where the van is a little more tolerable to attack. That will give me a good mobile way to pick up people and maneuver around a little bit around the zombie apocalypse. I do know that eventually you'll get to the point where, you know, it'll be hard to find gas, so it'll just be more or less a van to try and hunt down my family members and friends during the early stages. Secondly, I know this would probably be pretty rough later on, maybe, but especially to reinforce. But if done properly, you can reinforce some of the bigger stores. I would probably try and take over a Walmart. There are some people who would say that's a bad idea because, you know, if you go after the food and the resources that a place like that would have, other people want it. Other people might have bigger guns, more people try and take it over. But if you reinforce correctly, I think it'll be a little bit better to hang on to. And it has a full stock of plenty of things that'll last for a number of years. You know, you eat the perishables first, and then of course go for the non-perishables and save those for later. But so hunt myself down a Walmart, see if I could possibly take one over. Depending on how many people are alive at the time, it might be harder or easier. If it's too hard, you know, find a nice place to hunker down. And in all honesty, I could almost put it in stages. Stage 1 would be to reinforce the van, try and find family members. Stage 2 would be try and take over a large building like a Walmart to get supplies. Weaponry-wise, I would probably stick with mostly pistols and shotguns. Obviously, shotguns have a good spread. Their ammo is more readily available and easy to find. They're easier to get. You know, you can go to Walmart and find plenty of shotguns, and of course rifles will be the backup because you can find rifles at Walmart. Just not as much ammo for them. Shotgun ammo is a lot easier to get and easier to find throughout. Especially just where I live in Kentucky, there's plenty of shotgun ammo everywhere. Then you know, my weapon of choice is of course a double barrel shotgun. Easy to fire, easy to reload. If you know how to properly saw it off, you can saw it off. That is illegal technically right now, so I wouldn't suggest doing it. But in the case of that apocalypse, I would probably take the one I've been trying to get and saw off the edges to make it easier to run around with. My next gun of choice, if I actually had one, would probably be a Judge because it is a shotgun as well. Technically, a shotgun handgun that can work with shotgun shells and large ammo rounds. So it is my second weapon of choice for ranged weapons. Weapon of choice, of course, with With me being located in Louisville, I would probably make my own Lucille, just because it would be really easy. There's plenty of barbed wire, and they make the Louisville Slugger here. I can easily get a baseball bat, no problem. Multiple baseball bats. So having myself a few Lucilles would not be hard while living in Louisville, Kentucky. What else? As for protection of myself, I'm a larger person, so trying to find something like a Kevlar vest or anything like that, it really doesn't make much sense for me. I don't remember if this was ever really done in a zombie movie. I think it was done, it might have been done in The Walking Dead once, was it? No, I think it was in a different zombie movie. Maybe it was, I think it was done in World War Z. But, large books and duct tape, or, heavier clothes wrapped in duct tape. You'd be surprised how easy duct tape is to find. And you wrap something up in multiple layers of duct tape, and it is almost impenetrable to anything that would be considered slashing or teeth or claws. So I would basically make myself a full set of armor in duct tape, or reinforced books / duct tape. I would look pretty silly, but it would be really, really hard to get past. Particularly if you don't necessarily have to make like a full set of like plate mail armor, that would be a little bulky, but you can definitely reinforce the areas that are easiest to grab and bite. The neck, this area of the neck, and shoulders, arms, of course, arms and hands, and legs. Stuff that's really easy to grab onto off a person and try and gnaw on. But that's definitely what I would keep in my movement phase of phase 1 and phase 2 of my plan. Phase 3 is actually a long-term phase. Basically, if you can find a way to do it, and you can, if you have multiple people from the Walmart, I would definitely pick up some shovels and some digging tools, and start digging, start finding a way to hunker into a place, side of a hill, side of a mountain. Start digging and try and make yourself either a cave or something that is easier to protect, less possible entries, and further away from any type of civilization. Yeah, I do know that zombies randomly walk around, but if you think about it, there's going to be more zombies where civilization will be at than where there is not. So if you can find a nice place up in the hills, up in the mountains, that you can kind of find a cave, or take some tools, maybe sounds weird, maybe abandoned mine, something that will be really hard for anything to get through. They'd have to dig to get to you, minus your one entrance, and then of course use your head and build some nice wooden spikes and pikes and things like that. That's phase 3, is to find the place that's not impenetrable, but really, really hard to get into by anyone else. Also, the further away you are from civilization, the easier it is to survive, because you ain't got to worry about other living people who might want to cut your eye out, or steal your food, or chop your hand off. So that's pretty much it. My 3 phases of what I would do with the apocalypse. I mean, if I could afford it, or something along those lines, I would probably look into getting my quote-unquote secret base built. Bomb shelters, things like that. You can, if you really want to be super precautious, now would be a good time to start setting things up like that. You find a nice plot of land that has a really large hill, or a really large or some mountainside area, it's a little bit easier in Louisville, Kentucky than it is in other states, but and start getting that thing excavated and cemented out. You can make yourself a really, really nice bomb shelter, and that would make it even better for zombie apocalypse or regular apocalypse. So nuclear apocalypse, I guess. So there you have it. There's Rob/RC3 Arts guide to trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. Thanks for watching, and thanks again, Semperfi, for the contest. Whether I win or not, it's still cool that you did it. So thanks a lot, bro.